being conceited and the difference between being conceited and proud. And what does that have to do with manifesting and getting everything that you want? You have to be in the knowingness. You got to be so, oh, I wish I could say that F word. You have to be so effing convicted. Like, you have to have the conviction. And what I want to say, like, you got to have the conviction of an 8-year-old. And you know what? I want to use my son as an example. When we moved into this apartment and he had mirror doors as his like closet. In his closet, it was the mirror doors, right? There's places that have that. And he'd wake up and look at himself in the mirror. He'd be like, I'm still handsome. But I'm going to tell you this. If he didn't have any mirrors to look at, he would still say that he was handsome. There was no one who could tell him that he was not handsome. Now, did I have something to do with that? Yes. I would tell him every day, multiple times a day, that he was amazing, he was handsome. And there were times where he would just ask me, like, Mommy, what do you think I look like? Or how do you think this looks on me? Or what do you think if I did this or if I did that? Everything was always positive for him. So it was so easy for him to think positively of himself. And I want to say, have the conviction of a 9-year-old boy. Have the conviction of Temo. Let's call it Temo, T-E-M-O. Have Temo's conviction. You cannot tell him, he's 17 now. You cannot tell him that he is not going to be someone amazing or great, or even like, try telling him he would never be a billionaire and he's gonna say, you watch and see, I'm gonna make it happen in 5 years or 7 years or whatever he would say. Or there were times when he was like, he just one time walked out of his bedroom and said, like, maybe I should think about modeling. And I'm like, yeah, maybe you should. Out of nowhere, right? And so I want to tell you to have the conviction and the effing knowingness of a Temo, because you cannot shake him. Well, that's not true. He gets shook, he gets shaken, but he always comes back. He always bounces back. Oh man, it makes me so proud. It makes me so happy and like, yes, that's my boy. That's my mother effer right there. And so, yeah, have the conviction of a Temo. And I'm bringing this up because I had a session with a client earlier this week. I made it sound like I'm from the East Coast. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Where we were talking about him not being recognized and wanting outside validation. And I asked him, why do you need to be recognized? Why can't you recognize yourself? And the discussion turned into, well, that's conceited, that's arrogant, that's not the right thing. And I said, who said that? Who said it was conceited? Who said it was arrogant? Well, this person said it, and this person that I really care about, and this other person. And, sometimes when I, do XYZ, then I get a response that, that you're being too much or you're arrogant. And I said, I basically turned it into who controls the narrative? Who controls the story? When do you get to be proud of yourself? When do you get to make it about you? And I brought up the thing with Snoop Dogg, when Snoop Dogg was being recognized, and he's like, last of all, I want to thank me, right? And my client went into, well, he was being recognized though. That's why he said that. And I love how your brain does that. I love how your brain looks for things to make a story, to make the story that you made of yourself true. Did you see what happened there? Did you see when he said that? Like, well, I would never be able to do that because I wasn't recognized. And you see, he was being recognized, so that's why he was able to do it. There are people that talk about themselves like that all the time. They're not waiting to be recognized. And you don't need to wait to be recognized in order to think highly of yourself, in order to believe that something can happen for you. And in order for good things to happen for you. And this goes back to the mirror principle that I briefly mentioned in the previous video about whatever you're thinking, whatever you believe to be true is going to be true for you. Excuse me. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't say this in the other video, but I went to Popeyes wearing this dress. Yeah, I was on no F's given. I got no F's to give. But anyway, so why do you need for someone to recognize you in order for you to recognize yourself, right? Do we necessarily need outside validation? No. You actually don't need anything, to be honest with you. You want these things, and it's not bad to want them. But once you get into that place of wanting them and making it like, okay, I'm not getting it, so something is wrong with me, then there's a problem. Then you're not believing in yourself. You're not believing in who you are. And I don't want to get into the whole story about being God and things like that. That will be for another video. However, you have the power and the capability to have anything you want. But because you are telling yourself a story about the thing that you want, that is what's keeping you from it. In manifesting, it happens instantly. It happens quickly. I have been able to manifest things like sometimes in the same day. Recently, to be honest with you, it doesn't even take a week for things to manifest. And that is because I changed my story. I changed the way I looked at my life. I changed the way I looked at my past. I changed the way I looked at other people. I changed the version of myself that I was being. There were times where I was just like, if I was thinking that everything was in the future. And guess what? If I'm thinking that everything is in the future, then it's never now. It's always in the future. Do you see that? Do you understand what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? And also, there's this big implication around, this big, let's just call it effing big implication around needing to wait. Oh, well, things just don't happen fast. Things just don't happen overnight. The fuck they don't. They do for me. They do for me. And that includes bad things and good things. And now I've changed the story of there are no bad things that happen to me. And I've changed the story around mental health and around physical health and my body and my business and the people around me. And it manifests very, very quickly. And I'm not here to sell you a course. I'm actually taking down a lot of stuff. I'm not here to sell you a course. I'm not here to tell you you should work with me so I could teach you how to do this. I'm not here to tell you anything like that. I'm just sharing, and I'm telling you that this shit is real and it's really simple. And after you watch this video, you're going to start getting other people on your feed talking about the same thing. Why? Because I'm not the only one who's experiencing it. And it's the same thing when you like say something and then it happens. Or you think of someone and then they call you. It's not because it was a coincidence, or I like to call it coinkydink. It's not because of that. It's because of you. You did that. You did that. And let's not get into like the bad stuff that happened to you or whatever. That all of that is in the past. I ain't here to talk about that. You want to talk about that, go somewhere else. There's plenty of people that are willing to talk about that on YouTube. I'm good. I'm here to make manifesting fun. I'm here to have fun. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done making things super serious. I'm done worrying about I'm done worrying about stuff that I don't need to worry about anymore. I truly believe that we are here to experience fun and joy. Don't worry, I'm wearing a bra. You just can't see it. We're here to experience fun and joy and the best ever, and have whatever the you want. But because you believe that that is not possible for you, because of the story you keep telling yourself, well, that never happened to me in the past, and that it just keeps happening, and I just don't see how it can happen in the future. Children never seen Santa, but they believe in him. You never seen $1 billion, but you know it exists. You know, how many of you out there know how a tree works? Right, I'm looking at a tree right now. You know how a tree works? You don't. Do you need to know how it works in order to know that it's a living thing in front of you? No. You don't need to know that. I don't need to know how electricity works. All I need to know is when I flip the switch, the light goes on. That's it. That's all I need to know. I stopped practicing psychotherapy because it keeps you stuck in the past. People can become complacent, and that's okay if that's for them. That's okay if that's where you want to be. But I can't have anything to do with that then. This place, this channel here is for the biggest dreamers ever. You got super big goals and you have absolutely no idea how you're going to attain them. You're in the right place. You're in the right place. And that's not true. You do know how you're going to attain them. The answers are already within you. The answers are already within you. I'm not going to say no to money. If you want to work with me, then my information is below. No, I love money. I'm not going to say no to money. But that's not why I'm here. That's not why I'm here. And there's no gatekeeping here. I don't need to. There are no secrets. The story that you're telling yourself is the only thing that is keeping you from having everything that you want. Yes, I will say that it does have to do with other dimensions and owning a different version of your reality. And that's going to be for another video. That's going to be another time. Maybe tomorrow I will wear a different dress and dive deeper into that. But what if I didn't explain that to you? And what if I told you all you have to do is decide what you want and be so effing convicted in it. Be a temo when it comes to that. If anything else pops up in your reality that does not match your desire, that does not match your goal, that does not match what you want, then you stay convicted. Like, I could never tell him you're ugly. He'd be like, okay. And later on, he'd come back and tell me, like, Mommy, do you want to correct what you said? Do you want to say it right this time? That's what you need to do with your reality. If it's starting to show you something different, then how do I want to say it? Then you stay convicted. Like, no, that's not my reality. No. And it will show you. And it will show you very quickly. And I know it's, you know what? You're watching this on YouTube. I know it doesn't sound crazy. I know I'm not the only person talking about this. I know this isn't just real for a couple of people. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people talking about this and already know about it. Another thing that I don't want to gatekeep, you make your own rules to how you're going to manifest it. That's it. If you believe it has to take a long time, then it's going to take a long time. If you believe it's going to come fast, then it's going to come fast. If you believe that you have to heal in order for you to receive it, then guess what? You're going to have to heal in order for you to receive it. If you believe that you have to unblock yourself, then guess what? You're going to have to unblock yourself. You get to make your own rules. Man, oh, man. I wish I would have known this. I wish I would have known this, because there's so much like manifesting stuff out there that it just, to be honest with you, like, I was listening to someone else. Her name is Rosie Life. I'm so grateful for her. And another one is The Power of I Am, Eric. For so long, I mean, first of all, I came across a Rosie Life last year and I was like, what is she talking about? This is just freaking nonsense. I didn't get it. And then I was listening to Eric and The Power of I Am, and I'm just like, I'm doing it, but I wasn't. I didn't understand it. And you know what? I was making it more complicated and harder than what it really was. And whenever my reality was showing me something else, I was making all of that God. I was making all of that the creator, the dictator. Speaking of which, my son just texted me right now. I was making all of the outside the dictator of my being. Like, so if the outside wasn't showing me that I was beautiful, then I wasn't beautiful. If the outside wasn't showing me that I wasn't, that I was poor, then I was poor. Instead of me deciding, are you beautiful or not? Because here's the other thing that's missing. The other missing piece is the feelings. Just because you feel ugly doesn't mean you're ugly. Just because you feel insecure doesn't make you unattractive. Do you hear what I'm saying? Right? So your feelings aren't always going to be true. And what you have to do is have the conviction of a temo anyway. T-E-M-O. Have the conviction of a temo. You cannot tell him you will never be successful. You will never be freaking amazing. You will never be, I don't know, you name it. You will never be a millionaire. You will never be a billionaire. You will never be a father. You will never be you can't tell him anything. You can't tell him nothing. I probably have something to do with that, but that's his own doing as well. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to have the conviction, right? If you're going out feeling yourself, no one can tell you you're not. And you shouldn't let anyone tell you any different. You shouldn't let anyone tell you anything different. Oh, I'm not looking cute in this red dress. Okay. Do you want to fix that statement? You want to take a second stab at it? You know what? That's okay. I don't need for you to tell me that I look good in this dress for me to look good in this dress. I don't need that. That's another thing, another piece that is missing from the manifesting. Like, needing it implies that you don't have it. And if you don't have it, right? How can I explain this? I don't need for someone to tell me that I look good in this dress. Because I know. I know. I don't need for someone to tell me that I am lovable. I know. I don't need for someone to show me how successful I can be. Because I know. It's the knowingness. The knowingness. And I've been talking about this for years. But to be honest with you, I didn't really know how deep it went. And I didn't really get the knowingness until now. When you're doubting, that's not the knowingness. And I'm going to go as far as to say that you're God. This is what I believe. I believe that Jesus was showing us what we were also capable of. But he believed in himself so much. He had thermal conviction. He believed in himself so much, no one could convince him otherwise. I need some water. You could not convince Jesus out of not being the Son of God. You could not. When he said, I'm going to walk on water, nobody could say, yeah. You know what? People did say. People did doubt him. They did believe that he wasn't able to do all of these things. It didn't effing matter. He did it anyway. And I hate to use like a Bible story, but everybody just gets these. Even me. Like when Eric over at the Power of I Am, he uses Bible and verses all the time. Like, I get it. Like, because I grew up Baptist and Catholic, and I had to read the Bible like 9 or 10 times. But when you don't understand it, you don't know what you're reading, you're not going to remember it. But I remember when he like brings it up. But you could not tell Jesus. You could not tell him that he couldn't perform miracles. You couldn't tell him that. I mean, you could, but he wasn't going to believe you. He had the conviction, like, it doesn't matter what you say. I know who I am. I know who I am. I have the knowingness. I know who I am. You cannot show me anything different. And Jesus did have some moments of doubt. He did have some moments when he doubted himself. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It made no difference. It made no difference. It made no difference. You could not convince him out of it. Like, well, you know, if you keep telling that story, people are going to think that you're crazy, and then you're going to get yourself into trouble. So why is it bad for you to think highly of yourself? Maybe you're not Christian or whatever, right? But if this person knew he could die for telling a story like that, but he told it anyway, and here you are afraid of people thinking that you're gonna be arrogant or conceited, you're not gonna die from that. And on the contrary, it's only gonna help you have the conviction to start seeing your reality change. And I'm not saying you can't have doubts. I'm not saying you can't have doubts. I'm not saying you can't change your mind. You can change your mind about your desires, about your goals. But if something pops up or somebody comes and tells you you're never going to be a millionaire, okay. Sure. Whatever you say. But that speaks more about them than it does about you. I think I made myself very clear in this video. I'm gonna stop. It's already at 25 minutes. Yeah. I hope that this lands with someone who really needed to be reminded of their true power. I truly believe that Jesus was trying to tell us that we have the same capabilities. And I know I don't know. I don't know how people will respond to this message, how people will respond. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that already believe this. I'm not the only one. And from what I personally have experienced myself, I know that whenever I make a decision, I decide. And sometimes I don't decide on the how, because I don't really need to worry about the how. I don't need to focus on the how. I just decide on what I want. And not that I let it go, meaning like I stop wanting it. I just know that it's going to happen. That's it. And I have been doing this with everything now. Like everything. I have decided, I've made decisions about everything. I have decided that it's going to be fun moving forward. I've decided that this is going to happen and it's just going to be like a laughable, like, oh my God. Such a dummy. Oh my goodness. I know. Like there are just so many things that are just like, because I don't believe we're meant to experience hardship and suffering. Don't start asking me questions about around the world and just travesties and tragedies and all this stuff. I'm not here to talk about that. Go to somebody else to talk about that. I'm not here to talk about that. As a matter of fact, there's a really good book where you can find those answers in. It's called Conversations with God. Go read that book. That was enough for me. You want more answers having to do with that, go to somebody else. I'm just here now. I've decided this is my best chapter yet. That's it. I love how the sun is now like beaming on me. What perfect moment. Oh my gosh. Freaking love it. I could have not like planned for this better. I just love how the sun is like beaming on my face right now too. This is, oh my God, this is so good. It's just like, I already went for my walk today, but I think I'm going to go for another one. Not wearing the red dress. Although, it's not a bad idea. I just don't want to like, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to get it sweaty or something. I don't know. We'll see. But so I'm going to go have the conviction of Temo. Have Temo's conviction. I have to check my text message now, see what he texted me. I hope this really landed with you. I intend that this really landed for you. The only reason why you don't have what you want is because of the story you're telling yourself. You're believing that you can't have it, and that's not true. Talk to you later.